What comes to mind when you think of Pokémon? Perhaps the brand, the video games, or even the training cards. To me, it's those titular characters which make the whole franchise as big as it is. These guys with all their powers, personalities, or whatever. I just love them, they're amazing. But why do others care about them so much? Well, I want to get into what makes the idea of these characters stand out on their own, beyond just battling or catching. And of course, I'm talking about the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon series, since they're nothing but Pokemon. So what's the origin, quote unquote? You know Spike Chunsoft, right? You know, the Danganronpa guys? Well, they are responsible for the concept of Mystery Dungeon with their old name, which is just Chunsoft. It all started with a Super Famicom game called Torneko's Great Adventure, a Dragon Quest spin-off in fact. This unnoticed, Japanese-only release seems to be where the whole Mystery Dungeon thing was introduced, and pretty much became its own series. Well, the gameplay that is. Yeah, the concept of the Mystery Dungeon series is more so about the roguelike dungeon crawling aspect, with the franchise being whatever they please. It wasn't specifically a Pokemon thing. It wasn't until 2005 with Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Red and Blue Rescue Team. Let me tell you how this happened. The collaboration between Chunsoft and the Pokemon Company wasn't just a coincidence. A natural fit, I'd say. By early 2000s, Pokemon had seeded itself as a massive series with its core games and or merchandise, but the brand's potential was still growing. Alright, enter Chunsoft, a studio with expertise in the genre. They basically invented the genre. The gameplay of Mystery Dungeon offers turn-based exploration and generated levels. I think I'm forgetting something. Oh yeah, hey, it's me, Zulk. And this is Tsunekazu Ishihara, a key figure in the Pokemon franchise, who had a history with Chunsoft. He previously worked on a game called Tetris 2 plus Bombless, where he met Koichi Nakamura, Chunsoft's director. Ishihara had also played several entries in the Mystery Dungeon series, including good old Torneko over there, and he was deeply impressed by the depth of the genre. Unlike the Dragon Quest branch of Mystery Dungeon, which had some connections to its main series, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon was designed to be a standalone experience, no prior Pokemon knowledge required. So now you got Red Rescue Team for GBA, and Blue Rescue Team for the DS. Oh well, they're practically twins. I say as in, the gameplay is basically the same. But the DS version comes with a few upgrades, better performance, richer sound quality, thanks to the DS's advanced audio. Well, more advanced than GBA at least. And dual screen. Though I'll be only focusing on Red Rescue Team. Why? Well, the DS already has its own Mystery Dungeon game, which builds on to Rescue Team. The GBA version, Red Rescue Team, deserves its moment in the spotlight for now. I didn't start with Red Rescue Team. My first entry in the series was Explorers of Time. Alright, Sky, I think. Either Sky or Time. I don't know, maybe I'm misremembering. But, you're in this world full of Pokemon, forming bonds and working together. And for me, that's more appealing, don't get me wrong. I love those games, with humans and stuff. But here, the Pokemon take center stage. They're the stars of the story, and that connection with them feels much more personal. Mostly because, I grew up with the Pokemon. So how does Pokemon Mystery Dungeon play? Well, imagine a traditional Pokemon game and a roguelike. There we go. Core gameplay revolves around exploring dungeons. Every dungeon is randomly generated, meaning the layout and enemies change every time you enter. Let's add items in the list too. You control your Pokemon directly, moving one tile at a time, with enemy Pokemon also taking their turns simultaneously. It's all about strategy, deciding when to fight, when to run, how to manage your inventory, so you don't end up starving. Yeah, there's a hunger mechanic. Alright, so I'll stop blabbering and, let's jump into the world of Mystery Dungeon. For some reason, I feel right at home when it comes to the title screen. I mean, look, Bulbasaur, Charmander, Pelipper, they're having a good time. Oh, it's a personality quiz. It'll determine what Pokemon I'll become. I wonder what Pokemon the game thinks I am. Oh, that'll be interesting. Oh, I'm a Trico. Close enough. I wake up in a mysterious place. A Cynical shows up, wondering how I appeared. No time to think. There's a frightened Caterpie trapped in tiny woods. And we rush in to begin my very first rescue mission, starting with Tiny Woods. Like I said before, the dungeons are randomly generated. There are hallway sections and big room sections that vary in size. The A button is for the normal attack, you just bonk them. B is for the moves, like in the main games. Holding B makes the game go by faster, but that also means it'll make you hungry quicker. There we go. Caterpie saved. After saving Caterpie, Cynical suggests forming a rescue team of sorts to help Pokemon in need. Fair enough, I guess we could do that. And because of this, I get tons and tons of quests to help out different Pokemon. Cool concept, though it does get a bit grinding or repetitive at times, so keep that in mind if you want to blaze through all of them. Soon, I rescue 2 Magnemite from Thunderwave Cave. My reputation grows as I save a Diglett from a Skarmory on Mount Steel. Throw rocks and there you go. Easy. But this is just the first boss. The game gets way harder from here. Just as my rescue team gains traction, a Gengar shows up. Team Minis. Which is the manliest sounding team I've ever heard. And they steal my rescue requests. I don't think they like me that much. It's all fine now that I beat them on a mission. Saving a Metapod in Sinister Woods. A Jumpluff gets stranded in Silent Chasm. And Shiftry is sent to rescue it, but never returned. My team investigates and finds out it's all because of a Zapdos. I climb Mount Thunder, batter Zapdos, and finally rescue Shifty. Or Shiftry, funny name. I seek answers from Xatu, this bird guy, who reveals that I am not from this world. A big shock, really. It is because of the legend of Ninetales' curse. Humans once angered Ninetales and was cursed, but their Pokemon Gardevoir took the curse in their place. The human then abandoned Gardevoir. Ninetales prophesies that the cursed human will be reborn as a Pokemon, and when that happened, the world will fall into chaos. Gengar seizes the moment, convincing everyone that I am the cursed human as told in the legend. Granted, as villains, we're basically on our own now, being chased by the Pokemon Square mob. Me and Cynical escape through Lapis Cave and across Mount Blaze, when Moltres attacks, believing I caused disasters. Well, that's not very nice. The next dungeon is very hard and it makes me want to eat ice.
Then I make it to Frosty Forest, where instead Articuno blames me for disturbing the balance of nature. Luckily, an Absol intervenes and joins my team. We went from Zapdos having beef with Shiftry to Moltres and Articuno accusing me of breaking the universe. Wow. Finally, I reach Mount Freeze and finally meet Ninetales itself. The truth? The cursed human does exist, but it is not me. Gengar's accusations were all lies. I finally return home as the Pokemon world welcomes me back. Gengar's exposed for his lies, but a greater threat looms. The legendary rescue team, Team Act, which has Alakazam, Charizard, and Tyranitar, heads to Magma Cavern to stop Groudon. But they don't return. A new team is sent in. They don't return either. My team enters Magma Cavern and defeats Groudon. But it's only a temporary solution. Zactu reveals that the real threat isn't Groudon. It's a giant meteor falling towards the planet. And that's what's causing disasters. I must climb up to Sky Tower and seek out Rayquaza to stop it. Before the final battle, Gardevoir appears in my dreams, revealing the truth about my past. Well, let's say I chose to erase my human memories to help save this Pokemon world. Reaching at the top of Sky Tower, I met Rayquaza. Or Rayquaza. Oh, same thing. Though Rayquaza refuses to listen and attacks us. After a tough battle, Rayquaza finally understands danger and uses Hyper Beam at the meter to destroy it. Well, we did it. The world is saved. The mission is complete, but I was never meant to stay in this world. I say my goodbyes and fade away. Just kidding, I'm back. Yeah, I still return to the Pokemon world. I guess I just love this world too much. And that's the story of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Red Rescue Team.
In the end, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon gave me the chance to show off a strong setting and a story that's more engaging than you might expect from a spin-off. It presents a different aspect of the so-called Pokemon world, one where the characters are Pokemon themselves. Like, this game makes you care more about the creatures themselves compared to other games where you play as them. The gameplay sticks closely to the dungeon crawling formula, which means you'll run to some backtracking and repetition, and the difficulty can spike without much warning. That said, the mechanics are nice once you get the hang of them, or if you're used to games like these. As for the story, I won't say it's as sad as the others say, since you come back at the game's world and all, but it's more thoughtful than most people expect. In conclusion, I'd say it's a fun, challenging RPG with a different take on the Pokemon world. It's a very grindy game, but if you're curious about it, I'd say you could try it if you like. There's also a massive post-game. Maybe I should cover it one day. Who knows? I'll be going now. See ya.